They want a video.
So it's kind of hard to do this without having an account.
Coach me like this.
Tell me this is what you say.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keisha, can you walk me through your process when you get a balance that's over $5,000? New
First,
account.
yeah, new account, first to check media, see if it was entered, and then make sure all the numbers are correct, the balance is correct. I will, depending on the client, if it's a smaller client, then I will, do like a regular skip search. Call
What's
it
that?
like a reverse address, a reverse number. Just one skip search and then set it out for a week,
And what are you looking for?
just to verify
Extra
anything.
information?
Yeah.
Or
That's only if there's one number, so if there's three, I don't do that.
you don't search for anything if there's 3 numbers?
Correct. Other than just the media. Set it out a week and call it in a week.
Searching for extra information is the trick to popping up. I've found that what the client sends us is not useful majority of the time. I want to walk you through some extra resources that are free and at your fingertips.
Okay.
So best practice, what worked really well for me, I would first check the media like you do, but not just to make sure everything was entered correctly. Look for fine details, whether it's on the insurance, like if there's a copy of the insurance card or the name of the insurance company, lots of times it has the employer, the insured's employer's information on the insurance card. And I would throw that into Google and get a phone number. A lot of times insurance is in the spouse's name, which would then give you other avenues to skip trace to find a number if there's no number or if there is. Google is like your number one easiest way to find any information. You just have to know what you're looking for.
Do you normally go past the first page? If I Google, I only go the first page. If it's not on the first page, I don't keep going.
I go to the second page.
Okay.
But when you're Googling, you would do the first name and the last name and the city and the state.
Quotations?
Nope.
Okay.
You want broader search results. Balance over $5,000. You want to spend time on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
So LinkedIn would be first, just because that would give you employer information. Your mindset should not be, oh, I'm prepping this account for legals. It should be, I want to catch this person at work, because if you get a bill that was $5,000, wouldn't you want to be made aware, regardless of how they called you? Facebook gives you a lot of details, so balance is that big. A lot of times there is some traumatic event that can give you information about the debtor's situation. So people post everything on Facebook. They're in a terrible car accident, they have a broken arm, they're just now getting back to work. Like, it gives you everything that they might not give you on the phone. So you just kind of walk into the call more mentally prepared.
So if they do turn over 3 numbers, you have home, work, and cell, would you still,
Absolutely.
why? And it's a valid
It
PO
arms
number.
you with more information.
What more information would you need?
Their situation. If somebody's on Facebook with their sob story about being a single parent, or they can't afford this, or just got evicted, you're gonna walk into that call with a different approach, yes or no?
Mhm.
Why not?
I don't want to assume anything until what they tell me is what they tell me.
What if they don't tell you that, and then you're wasting your calls with somebody who can't pay you?
I mean, hopefully they'll tell me in the beginning, you know, what's your intent, or if I do get them on the phone. I think what I struggle with the most is doing more in the beginning, because I just want to call, and then towards maybe like 60, around 90 days, okay, so they're not responding to my telephone calls or letters, let's dig a little deeper.
And if you don't look for, look on LinkedIn or look for POE information in the beginning, those 3 numbers are not a POE number. What if you could be just reaching them at the POE number rather than wasting all your calls for 45 days?
How long would you work an account when you first get it? Like that process you told me, how long would you sit there and do that for?
I'm fast. It's slow in the beginning. It takes a few minutes.
So you would devote at least 5 minutes on a big balance account?
This is more workflow-ish.
Yeah.
I would work my dailies in the morning.
Mhm.
Those are quicker calls. I've already done all of my legwork. So from 8 to 12, I pound out 100 phone calls. That gives me 50 to 70 calls to make in the afternoon where I can work much slower.
Do you label them differently or anything?
What do you mean?
Or like, how do you know that, okay, you hit your fast calls, but your big balances are in the afternoon? Are you scanning for them, or are you labeling a different?
We were just
sensitive?
talking about big balances that were brand new. I'm
Okay.
not touching those until the afternoon, when I can work slower. Another thing is checking out their property. So even if it's a client that doesn't do property liens, a lot of times there's extra information on the auditor's site. In regards to, you know, filing taxes, or if you're calling a $5,000 account and the debtor owns a home that's worth $500,000, the probability of you getting that to pay is so much higher than you calling someone who either doesn't own property or owns a $25,000 trailer.
So I struggle with if checking out the property in that beginning, they do own a $5,000, $500,000 home, but they just don't answer their phone. You can search all you want, but they just don't answer their phone. At what point do you give up, or do you say, hey, I'm gonna call it for 6 months, or they're just not gonna pay me no matter what?
90 days into it.
And do you work more on accounts that we can sue as opposed to states that we can't? So if it's in a state we can't, you don't do as much?
I don't care about that really. I feel like suing them is just like before I close it, if it's a state that we can sue in, it's just the next step.
So you feel like this should happen across the board no matter what state?
Yeah. So hard
Say
without
it.
What?
Say it.
I feel like you're.
Say what?
you're-
No, I'm trying to think of certain things to bring up. I don't.
It's hard too.
I was thinking about all the things that I struggle with, like calling a lot in the beginning, 'cause that's what I wanna do, and then focus towards the end, on then skipping, cause I wanna get through the flow, but I like what she said about leaving that towards the afternoon. 'cause you do
Okay,
make
so,
more.
so, everybody quiet now and pretend you're a large load consultant. And write, what it is you'd be going, I wonder how she would coach me to handle this. Write it down real quick right now before they leave you. You're a large load consultant, write the question you'd wanna fire to Callie. She's like a freaking genius. Start fast, finish slow, don't miss that. Work, get a volume, get momentum early in the morning. Go ahead, you can catch me on film, it's my good side. And then slow down in the afternoon, that's good learning, right? You ought to be using disciplines like that. So write, I wanna know about this, write it down. You're a large load collector, even if you're not. Everybody's writing like they are.